Hi everyone, welcome to August 2017. Wanted to pop in here real quick and do just a little bit of a hello. Let you guys know that as of now, private readings are back to normal. Thank you so much to all of those that ordered a private reading and put up with my nonsense. I had just a whole bunch of stuff happen right before I left Indonesia, which was like so typical of the whole experience there. Dealing with immigration. They held my passport hostage for like a month, and it was like the day before I had to go when I finally got it. So I spent like 3 days waiting, systems down in Jakarta and all this, like, I don't know, it was just like a total mess. But so thank you for those that put up with me. And yeah, so it'll be back to normal. Also, quick announcement for freebies for Leo, okay? Every month, whoever's birthday month it is, I will be offering free solar return reports. So if you order a tarot card reading, I'll include, it's like a 20-page report that talks about the themes for the upcoming year based on your birthday and your residence location, okay? So it's kind of like a snapshot analysis of things that you can expect with your specific transits and things like that. It's kind of a cool report. I ran one for myself for being here in Budapest on my upcoming birthday in September. And I don't know, it's kind of cool to look at. So that's available for you as well. I'm gonna be doing a Bali video, another one. I know I already did one regarding the astrocartography, and I'm gonna do another one now that I know a little bit more about it. Kind of analyzing what happened when I was there and kind of associating it with transits, things like that. And also being here in Budapest and how it really is going to be affecting my chart. And like I said, I am offering astrocartography analysis in a more simple form for some of you who are interested in vacationing or moving to a new city and whatnot, just so that you can kind of get an idea of how the planets will shift and the possibility of having different aspects of your personality kind of be activated based on where your planets are located. So it's kind of a cool thing. And I will be doing that probably in the next month, as well as my new astrological video for Venus. I did one on Chiron already, and I have a whole new format that I'm going to do for Venus, which I'm pretty excited about, because the first one was kind of just like haphazard, just kind of threw it together, but to hopefully make it more valuable for you so that you can understand how your Venus affects the way you love and interact with people and the way that you appreciate beauty and life in general. So keep your eyes open for that, and that's it. I'll let you guys go. Thanks so much. Bye. Hello Aries, how are you? Welcome to your August 2017 reading. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully this setup is okay. I'm in an Airbnb and it's kind of the only way I could situate my camera. I know it's a little bit far, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me and see the cards okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, got a couple popping out. So we've got the Five of Wands coming out reversed. So either some of you may be overcoming a lot of drama in your life, and like really either you're leaving it behind or you are just in this moment rising above and being like, you know what, I can't do it anymore. I don't have the energy for this anymore. Life is too short for this. Some of you may have needed to cut people out of your life. Some of you may have done that already, and now you're kind of feeling the effects of that. And that's great. What's getting in your way is this person, Knight of Swords. This is an air sign, but could be any other sign, but it's likely someone who is a little bit of an aggressive energy. This is also someone who tends to come in and out of your life whenever they feel like it, okay? That's kind of an air-like type of thing to do, where they're like, go live their own life, and then randomly they just like come back and they make that connection, and it's like nothing ever even happened, and you're just supposed to be expected to pick up right where you left off. Well, that's a little bit too much of an emotional drain. That's what I call an emotional vampire, someone who just comes in and sucks the life out of you and takes everything you've got and then runs for the hills as soon as they've got their fix. And that's a really toxic energy, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be an air sign, obviously, but it is someone who's like really, really determined in some way. Yeah, someone who likely just drove you crazy, who caused you a lot of pain, cause you a lot of stress, a lot of spinning, a lot of late nights, you know, and it's too much. It's too much. No one needs to be here. Life is way too short for this. This state comes from, you know, when people try to steal each other's self-love, you know, and they try to belittle people and they treat people poorly, and they try to exert control over other people. And unfortunately, this has become like a very, very common thing. You know, when we are technically, you know, people are saying, okay, well, we're in the age of Aquarius now. It was like 2012, coming out from the age of Pisces. Okay, well, whether you believe we're still in the age of Pisces or in the age of Aquarius, either way, when you think of what the age of Pisces was, the Piscean age was, associated with the 12th house, that Pisces energy, which is the house of your own undoing. And when you look at the world around and you say like, oh my God, our whole world is coming undone, just as simply as I can say it, our whole world is coming undone. People are trying to control, people are trying to, you know, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of like dominance, you know, and it works its way down from a systematic global scale all the way down into our minuscule microscopic lives, because as above, so below, right? And we're all a part of this collective consciousness together. We're all a part of this like holographic world together. And it's no wonder, you know, being in the dark ages, which is what the Piscean age is, we're in the dark ages that we commonly feel this way. I'm not saying there's not happy times and good times, but you know, it's a reflection of what's going on a global scale. And happily, we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is the water bearer, and the water representing the ether, right? Where consciousness and whatever you believe in, God and the goodness of all of our creation is now coming back to earth, which means you must now have that power within you to stand up for yourself and say that this isn't right. Because from a soul perspective whose value is infinite value, you do not deserve to have power exerted over you. All right? And if you're dating someone who's trying to do that, there's no need for that. There's no need for someone else to cause you to be like this. That was a really roundabout way of explanation, and I apologize for that. But hopefully it kind of puts things into perspective. You know, I'm beginning to advocate all of us like standing up for ourselves. I mean, I've always advocated that, but like really stand up for yourself, and you don't have to allow someone to have so much power, okay? Because it's making you feel bad. Okay, it's in the foundational position. Hopefully you're overcoming that though, right? Hopefully you're getting to that point of like, yeah, I'm already over it. Or yeah, that person's out of my life, or I don't need to deal with it anymore. Because you were so dutiful, right? You did what you were supposed to do. You were a good boyfriend, a good girlfriend. You gave, you put in, you invested. You know, you did what you were supposed to do. No doubt in my mind. You are the creator of your physical reality, or what you perceive to be your physical reality, okay? You're living in a world of consequence. So when you make a choice of something, you then are forced to face the consequences of that choice. If you continue to participate with someone that looks like this, yes, you're going to move into this. No doubt in my mind. Choosing something that has bad consequences is going to give you bad consequences. It's called natural law. There's no argument there. I think we would all agree that if you make a choice, then something is going to happen after that, you know? So the question is how long do you want to remain a prisoner of your own undoing? This is an undoing of yourself, all right? How long do you want to be there? How long do you want to be in that state? Because it's all going to be determined by you, and these often come out together. Look, I know the connection was like out of this world. I know it was. I know it was out of this world. I know you loved each other, and I know you consider to be soulmates, twin flames, however you're calling it. But regardless, when someone comes into your life like a tornado and, like I said, like a vampire sucks the life out of you, what are you left with? There is a wedge between the two of you. There is a wedge in your connection, okay? And unfortunately, I think that wedge is kind of like, what's it's like a power struggle, you know? And Aries, you can be, you know, because you're ruled by Mars, you can be aggressive too. So it's like even gonna make someone fight that much harder, you know? And maybe even some of you, that's you. Maybe you're the vampire, some of you. I'm not calling you that because I feel like it's kind of being done to you. But, you know, maybe some of you are the vampire. And if you are, it's time to really check yourself and to be like, okay, this is another soul. It's a soul. And when you talk about souls, you're talking about things that are not of this world. You really want to mess with the universe? Do we really want to mess with that? That's like bad karma written all over it, you know? Ace of Cups. Why is that there, guys? Does this person keep coming back? I feel like they keep coming back and making promises and rekindling and reconnecting and reaching out. And again, it's a power thing, you know? I don't like the trine here. Ding, ding, ding. This doesn't make any sense to me. Some of you may have something totally new coming in, or some of you are exerting a lot of energy on trying to make something new come in. Now is not the time to try to make something happen, all right? You need to just let the universe do what it needs to do and to trust in the process, because right now you're so trapped. You're so like encapsulated in your environment right now that it would be really hard for new love to be like concrete, you know what I mean? But let's see where this is going, because that could be either a positive thing or it could be negative in that this person is kind of coming back trying to do this. So let's see where this is going. Let's just pull the rest out here. The environment, it's kind of an opposite thing happening here, all right? So this is just like an energy of standing still, not moving, not engaging, there's a stubbornness here. I don't know if this is you maybe recognizing that this is just totally not okay, you know? It's you recognizing that, and you may be recognizing this and being very hesitant to engage in whatever this is. Some of you may be dealing with a Virgo, okay? And that Virgo, or maybe you have a Virgo ascending or a Virgo moon or a Virgo Venus or something. And that Virgo side of you is like, wait a minute. You need to really look at this from a practical standpoint and look at it factually and, you know, being analytical about the situation, removing yourself as much as possible from the emotions and the thoughts, and looking at the actual product, where it's really left you, you know? And maybe you have someone in your life that's like, well, kind of maybe even being mean and being judgmental towards you as well, and being like, look, you know, my friend's gonna think I'm talking this because I'm a Virgo and she's an Aries, and I'm like, huh, she's gonna think I'm thinking about her. But anyway, I'm really not. That just entered my mind right now. But anyway, that is the card of Virgo. I can't argue with it. And you know, you may have someone that's kind of being a little bit mean or judgmental or being a little bit like harsh with you. Please know that if you have someone who is being harsh with you, it's because they want you to wake up and be like, look, pay attention, look at where you're at, look at what's happening. You're in the place of your own undoing, okay? So they're really only looking out for the best of you. And I know that you're afraid, because look at how tough these are, you guys. And this is common. A lot of the signs are having tough readings this month. Honestly, doesn't surprise me with the eclipses and everything. But, you know, there is a broken foundation or a cracked foundation, if you will. Some of you may be really hanging on, like, to the final, hanging on by a thread, as we say. I think that's the saying, hanging on by a thread, and really just grasping at straws at this point. But, you know, I think you're so afraid of what's going to happen if you do not have this anymore. It's almost like some of you are afraid of the freedom. You know, you're afraid to really step into a new world that's not defined by what this is. But this definition is not healthy. You know, this is not what life could be. It could be, you know, like I feel like you have so much love to give at this point. And like I said, you just have someone that's kind of coming in like a vampire and just stealing it from you. And then leaving again and then like coming and going. And that's a typical an air thing to do, the in and out. This person is not necessarily nice, okay? But I think they really are wanting you to see. So if they're saying stuff that is pushing your buttons or that is bothering you or that affects you and it strikes a nerve, you need to ask yourself why. Pride is not your friend here right now. And I know for a Mars-ruled planet, that's really hard because I know that Scorpio is also ruled by Mars. And for Scorpio and an Aries to be, you know, humbled, I mean, it's hard and it comes crashing down really hard, you know. But it's important for you to acknowledge into yourself that, or to acknowledge and to be honest to yourself that maybe, just maybe, there's a better way. Maybe there is a path of least resistance, and that maybe love doesn't really have to be so hard. I think you were the only one fighting, you know. And I think you're tired of fighting alone. And you're getting to that point, I think, where you don't have you just don't have the motivation at this time. Oh, I'm so happy we pulled out that star. I was like really waiting for a positive, because this can be positive too. And with these two together, it's like, okay, there is healing underway. There is brightness, because this is not just the star. See, look, this is the card of Aquarius. What was I just talking about? The age of Aquarius coming in, and how we're kind of starting to feel this and it's as a collective whole, but we're all feeling it on an individual level, where we are starting to understand that these demands and this control over our souls and over our minds, even on an individual level, is not the intention of the universe, you know, kind of thing. And that's really not how life really should be. And that we all should be celebrated for the beautiful beings that we really truly are. And I'm not trying to get all fluffy and all, you know, like, oh, hippie style on you guys, but we are of infinite value. And when someone tries to come and suppress that, why is it that we just let them? Because we love them, but they don't love us. If they loved us, they wouldn't do these things, you know what I mean? And somehow we've kind of misconstrued what love really is. You know, when you look at the way a parent loves a child, how pure, how unconditional that love is. Why is it so difficult for us to love so unconditionally to a partner? I'm not saying you guys won't have hard times, you know what I mean? But how did love between a couple, whether it's a man and a woman or same sex or whatever, but how did love become so transactional? And how did we all just become okay with that? If you do this, then I'll do this. If you open up and be vulnerable, then I will too. You know, but it's just kind of a weird thing. But I think that you're coming out of it and you're realizing this probably for the first time in a really long time, because you're tired of fighting and being the only one. You're tired of feeling so ungrounded, so unsafe, so insecure. Yeah, it's not enough. It is not enough. We've got stars, we've got stars, we've got stars. The stars is the light of a billion suns, and you are being guided. Even this Virgo of yours, whoever this person is, this like ultra hyper realistic person that seems like kind of a Debbie Downer, but in actuality is really looking out for you, is even holding a star. They are guiding you, okay? Another thing, you know, you're trying to be like so much to everyone. There's a need for stripping away those artificial layers and just being exactly what you are, because you are a perfect version of what you are, and you are on this planet, in this world, this world that we perceive, and you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You know, you're supposed to be accepting the experiences that the universe gives you and reacting and responding accordingly. That's all, you know. And if something feels bad, you shouldn't choose the way that feels bad. You should choose the way that feels better. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you don't have to work hard at good things. That's not really what I mean, but at least that work should be rewarding. It shouldn't be leaving you in a state of your own bondage, you know? I think the ego thing might be a little bit tops, maybe a little bit kind of a thing for you guys, okay? Ace of Swords, like I almost feel like you either don't have the information or you don't want the information. Like I almost feel like there's a rejection of it, because I think the delivery is not in the best way, because this person is usually like not the nicest, you know? And I think that there is likely to be a lot of skepticism about what the truth actually is, internal confusion about what the truth actually is, internal confusion about what you truly deserve. You know, I think you're afraid of, like you're afraid of being your beautiful self, which is, for an Aries to not be like super confident is kind of like a slap in the face to the sign of Aries. You know, because Aries should be like, yeah, this is me. I'm not going to make any apologies for that. This is everything I am, out on the table. Here we go. You know, like not holding back at all. So when an Aries is holding back, it says that there's really, really something not right about it. Queen of Swords, there you go. That's you 100%. I'm excited because this is almost as though you take this, what your kind of environment is right now, and being like, screw it. I'm just gonna own it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna accept it. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna control my life. I'm gonna make good decisions, you know, and being very discerning about it and being very humble about it. Let's be honest, the Queen of Swords is like that Libra energy. It's your opposite, okay? That's your opposite sign. She's the ruler of the 7th house, and that's all how you interact with other people. Okay, so the Libra energy coming out and really balancing everything out, okay, because this is so far unbalanced right now. You're taking your control back and you're saying, okay, this is my life. This is my soul's journey. I am responsible for the health and well-being of my life. And whatever you got to do, Aries, for some of you, you will be cutting someone out. For others of you, you will be, you know, standing up for yourself. For others of you, you will be, you know, making something work. Okay, so it's going to go however your current situation is. But I think a lot of you need to cut something out and to be very discriminating, you know, very on point about it and be like, yep, it's time. I got to get it out. I got to cut this out. The Hanged Man. Oh, we got a whole bunch. Okay. Let's just take these as they came. Okay. Hanged Man. I love the Hanged Man. I'm starting to really like change my mind on like what it is. And I know the standard definition is like, oh, it's delay and it's about, you know, time and seeing things from new perspectives. But I'm really starting to revise my story, equating it to actual wisdom, similar to the High Priestess. Okay, And I know some of you are probably like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But it's, yes, seeing things from new perspectives, but then acting upon those new perspectives and having the ability to remove yourself from a situation, okay, like an out-of-body experience, being able to see yourself and being able to, it's like be the director of your own movie, or the script writer of your own movie, where you are saying, okay, self, well, this is where you're at, and now you can be objective and you can see things from every angle, every infinite possibility that ever possibly could occur, and, you know, projecting out whatever outcome that you want. It's the action part. Even though this is like suspension and hanging, there's action involved here for me. That's just going to be my own thing. There's probably no other tarot readers that's going to say that. Okay? And I think that some of you are relieving yourself of, you know, something that was a unit, some kind of a unit. So the relationship, a family, a marriage, or something. But there does seem to be, you know, either a separation from, or a decline from, or, you know, like depletion from this unit. I think this must be the person. I don't think that's you. I'd say this would be more you, but that's not you. I think that's the same as the Knight of Swords here. Maybe some of you had a three-party situation. Maybe there was someone, maybe your partner was cheating on you or something. If not, this just indicates the fun, the lightheartedness, whatever it was, is in the past. Some of you may have been doing the friends with benefits thing with someone and hoping that it would have turned into a bigger relationship or something more important. So, you know, that hanging on to that idea, you know, there's not a lot of movement happening in terms of this connection. Okay, like it's either you're hesitant to make things happen. Again, you may be waiting for something to happen, but right now nothing's going to be really changing other than your attitude, other than the way you see it. You may really be like, okay, I really see you for what you are. At first, I saw you as this really awesome person who was really into me, really aggressive. We had good chemistry. We were, you know, having amazing sex, doing all this great stuff. But now I really see you for what you really are. And I'm not going to just accept it. And you don't have to. King of Wands reverse can be a very selfish person, okay? It can be someone that is very sarcastic and who uses their sarcasm and their jokes to kind of put you down, but then they always like make you feel guilty for getting offended and like it's all you, and you know, it doesn't, and like you're supposed to just laugh it off, but they said something really offensive kind of thing. It's like, no, I'm not gonna laugh it off. You're being a jerk, you're being rude. I'm not gonna participate in this type of, you know, disguised power trip that you're on. And the Hierophant reverse. So you've got the Ten of Pentacles and the Hierophant reverse. Look, it's time for you to kind of renew your covenant with your higher self, with the universe. This covenant that you made, these promises that you made before you came into this world, that said, yes, universe, I am going to do my best in this world to treat myself with love and respect, to come into this world and to learn the lessons that I am meant to learn. Because I think there's more to your life that you still need to learn, but you're getting caught up and hung up in this little mess. This is just temporary. It's going to go away eventually, okay? But it's time for you to renew that covenant and to maintain those. It's like your self-religion. You know, people that are devout Catholics, you know, they do mass. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the Catholic religion, actually. I don't really know, but there's, you know, there's the rituals that they do. They've got the rosemary, they do the confessional, they do the contributions, the sacrament, all this stuff they do religiously. And it's almost as though you need to kind of create your own internal religion, the things that you do to help you stay on track to being closely connected with the universe. Because remember, the universe is within you, as above, so below. So when you detach from that idea, you just get lost. You need to kind of stick to your own little straight and narrow. See, you have so much value. You really, really do. You have so much to give. You have so much to offer. And it's just a shame that someone's kind of just shoving that back in your face. And the Five of Pentacles, you know, that's your hopes and fears. Are you hoping that you're going to get rejected, or are you fearful that you're going to get rejected? Because either way, you're going to get rejected if you keep going down this road. This person doesn't make you feel loved, really. Sometimes. And I feel like maybe I'm only talking to a fraction of you or some of you, but hopefully it's the right fraction that actually is like, yeah, she's right. I really don't feel good. I really don't feel happy in this relationship. I really do feel like this person doesn't respect me, because no one that loves you is going to really put you in this position here. They're not going to want to. And this is not communicating, not like paying attention to them either. You can't keep giving them attention and, you know, paying attention to where they are and what they're doing on social media and all that stuff. It's really needed. It's necessary for you to cut something off, right? To cut off that flow of attention, because that's what they thrive off of, is attention, you know? And when you start, and I'm not trying to say play games. This is for your own health. Okay, this is for your own happiness. But to not give them that. You don't need to do that. That's their own insecurities needing that. You know what I mean? So I think some of you really are going to be like, it's done. It's over. Stop calling me. Stop texting me. Stop Facebook messaging me. I'm not interested in having my life continue to be like this. Okay. Anyway, kind of an intense reading, but not that bad, like really promising, you know? And I hope that you guys have a good month. Like, stay upbeat as much as you possibly can, you know? Just know that the experiences that you're given were given to you with purpose, even though you don't understand what that purpose is. But that your job in this world is to react and respond to the experiences that are given to you. So that's your responsibility, is to choose the choice that makes you closer connected with the universe. And right now I think that you're separated from the spiritual realm a little bit because of the stress and the anxiety that this person brings into your life. Okay? So I will leave you with that, Aries. Thank you so much. Good luck, and I will see you next month. Bye.